standing up for my constituents that know this Prime Minister has lied and misled the House.
Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Inadvertently misled. I'll give you one more chance. As leader of the SNP, I don't want to have to throw you out. I'm going to give you this chance. Please.
Please to power. That man has misled the House.
Shut up. I'm sorry it's come to this, and I'm sorry that the leader of the party has not got the decency to just withdraw those words in order that this debate can be represented by all political leaders.
I've got to tell the right honourable gentleman that for much of what he said, his best course is simply to wait for the inquiry to be completed.
Can I take it the honourable member has withdrawn it, the right honourable member?
That the Prime Minister may have inadvertently misled the House.
But, order. To help me, to help the House, you withdrawn your earlier comment and replaced it with inadvertently.
It's not my fault if the Prime Minister can't be trusted to tell the truth.
Under the power given to me by Standing Order number 43, I order the honourable member to withdraw immediately from that.
Right, sorry there's no sound. My fucking computer isn't fucking working, and yes, what can I say? It's running incredibly choppily, as you can see. The playback was rubbish, and for some reason it wasn't allowing me to get the sound working. So that's incredibly fucking frustrating, but nowhere near as frustrating as the fact that Boris Johnson, the biggest fucking liar since Liar McLieface got a degree from Oxford University in being a lying cunt, is still the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It is Monday, the 31st of January 2022. And look at the state we're in. Look at the fucking state of this. Jesus fucking wept. I wanted to just seamlessly come in on that brilliant piece by Ian Blackford there, calling the Prime Minister a liar in the House. It was a beautiful thing, and being thrown out. Well, he just walked out. He just walked out. He was like, I'm not having this. Just walked out before he could be thrown out. But he made his point. He's made his point absolutely fucking beautifully. And I wanted to make a point by showing you that, but my computer was running like a bag of old bolts. In fact, it was up to that point where, you know, when you move the mouse and you see the mouse move about a second after you've moved it. Yeah, well, trackpad, whatever. I'm old-fashioned, okay? I still call it a mouse. But, yeah, the cursor. You move the cursor and then you see it move 1 second later. You know when you type in a letter and then it appears 1 second later? Yeah, a bit shit. Sorry, Dell. But you suck balls. What can I say? Although, to be fair, this laptop was in my backpack for the whole trip to Luxembourg and back last week. Was that last week? The weekend? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to use it because my European plug that I brought, my adapter plug, wouldn't fit in any of the sockets in the Novotel where we stayed. Ibis, sorry. Don't mean to discredit Novotel, Ibis. Anyway, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But first of all, I'm going to say hello to everyone. Sorry, loads of chat today. Obviously, I was trying to get my computer to bloody work. I'm sitting here going, fucking work with you. Because once I start streaming, like once you see the screen coming up saying it's coming soon, I'm here, like frantically trying to get things to fucking work and test whether the sound works and stuff. It's very frustrating. Anyway, one day I will buy myself a new computer that isn't Steam powered. Until that day, we're stuck with this shit. Okay, Bonsoir says hi. Says number 3. Just in my defence as well, GB News started with a bursary, a loan, not a loan, a giveaway, a gift, a sugar daddy dumping £70 million on it, and they can't even get things right. I mean, £70 million. Could buy a couple of laptops for that. David Juardo, number 3. 11 p.m. is night, no afternoon until tomorrow. Okay, evening, Graham and everyone. Hi, everyone. Anything happened today, or Graham will just talk about the highway code update? Yes, the highway code has been updated to include the pyramid of priority. So now it's now officially in the highway code, they have to give priority to pedestrians, which is something that they should have done about 100 fucking years ago. But there you go. Do you know why? Because a car can do a lot more damage to a human than a human can do to a car. all things being equal, and it not being Street Fighter 2. Okay, so Mars and Jeddah, Bertide. What happened to your blood pressure watching Westminster Today game? Well, it was quite good because I picked one of my stepdaughters up from school at 3:30, and I really, yeah, was it 3:30 that it started? And really, I should have done a live thing, where I do a live talk along, like for 5 minutes questions. But obviously, my stepdaughters have to take priority, and we didn't know what time he was going to make a speech until like literally an hour before or something. So yeah, a bit annoyed about that. So I did actually miss the beginning of it, but I came in just at the right time, I think, because I didn't have to hear what Boris Johnson had to say, to be honest with you, because I knew what he was going to say. He was just going to go, I'm very sorry that things happened, but you're not going to get the full report. I'm not giving you a full apology. Brexit, vaccines, Brexit, vaccines, Brexit. But he went one further, actually. He went too further. He actually accused Keir Starmer of not prosecuting Jimmy Savile, which is a lie. It's false news. It's an internet meme that goes around, usually for the fucking Corbynites. This is why when I get a Corbynite on Twitter, I fucking block them. And if someone that I follow likes something that a Corbynite has tweeted, I block the Corbynite, and then I block the fucking dickhead who has liked the fucking thing. So if you've been blocked by me on Twitter, I'm very sorry, but don't fucking share stuff from Corbynites, because it is used as ammunition for people like Boris Johnson. Far right-wing gobshites like Boris Johnson use that stuff to attack the Labour Party. And unfortunately, just because the way things are, the only possible party that is going to get these Tories out of government is the Labour Party. So we can talk about reforming the Labour Party, but can we wait till they're in government, please? Before we attack them and pull them apart. Yeah, let's just get the Tories out. So yeah, I came in. I didn't really see what Boris Johnson was going to say, but he did that. He said, "Oh yeah, you didn't prosecute. You were too busy prosecuting journalists. This is Boris Johnson, ex-columnist, ex-gossip." Fucking columnist from Brussels. He is a newspaper man himself. He is totally a fucking hack scumbag journalist, the type that would hack a murdered teenage girl's telephone for to see what's going on, to get some messages off it. Maybe, delete some messages off the phone that could have been useful for the police to track down the murderer. And maybe give her parents some kind of closure on the subject. Whatever. He was a Fleet Street fucking hack, one of those fucking scumbags who writes for the Telegraph or the Mail or the Sun or those scumbag fucking papers. I love it when you see on Twitter that handle going around, the hashtag going around going, scum media. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. Oh, no, we're talking about all the anti-Boris Johnson media. I'm like, where? Where's that? All I can see is the Mail so far up his arse wearing him as a hat, just going, oh my God, Boris Johnson is so amazing. The other newspapers go, oh, you need to get over it. You need to get over it. Oh my God, you need to get over it. Yeah, they get over things, that lot. Like they got over the fact that in 1975, we voted to remain in the European community by an overwhelming majority. In fact, a super majority. But yeah, they never got over that, did they? Cunts. The other thing was, it was asked very reasonably, considering what Cummings, who's probably feeding all this shit to the media, has claimed on or insinuated on his Twitter feed or in his blog, that it was easy to get cocaine into number 10. That should have set off alarm bells, along with the fact that cocaine was found in Westminster toilets. Traces of cocaine. So he was asked if drug taking was something that went on at these parties. And Boris Johnson responded by saying that that's something that you should take up the front bench of the Labour Party. Yeah, because Keir Starmer comes across as a massive fucking stoner. You put those two people together. You put straight-laced, boring-ass Keir Starmer next to Boris Johnson and ask the question, which one of these motherfuckers is on cocaine? What do you think the correct answer would be? Hey? Front bench of fucking Labour. Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. Better turn my volume down on my headphones. Graham's going to be cross tonight. Well, yeah. But then I as the debate went on, well, it wasn't really a debate, was it? It was a statement to the House that the politicians were allowed to ask questions for. did find it a bit frustrating that every single politician stood up and asked the same question. What are you going to resign? Are you going to resign? After Boris Johnson had said no. So don't ask him that question. Ask him another question like, why are you such a bloviated, syphilitic cunt? That would have been a better question to ask, because at least it would have been different. It got a bit samey towards the end. However, it was really nice to see at least a couple of Tory MPs stand up and go, what the fuck, man? Including Theresa May and, oh shit, there's some guy's name I've forgotten, who stood up and said, I drove for 3 hours to my mum's funeral, didn't hug my family, drove back 3 hours, didn't go back to her house or anything, and am I a fool? That was a really good question. But yeah, Keir Starmer made a good speech. Caroline Lucas, she spoke well as well. I think Ian Blackford, the doff cap to him today, he really fucking, take my hat off to Ian Blackford. He really smashed it out of the park. And and then there was these follow-up questions and stuff, but Boris Johnson does what Boris Johnson always does and just deflected. And tried to blame Labour for Jimmy Savile fucking doing what he did. You do know that in 2010, Jimmy Savile was still canvassing, still campaigning for that fucking Tory party. Yeah, that's right, boys and girls. 2 years before he died, the last election he was alive for, he was running around in his fucking noncy fucking tracksuit, sticking up for the Tories. Vote for the Tories, said Jimmy Savile, Britain's most notorious paedophile. Yeah, I mean, that's a low blow. It's a low blow from Boris Johnson, but what do you expect from him? But now he's in a room, or he was earlier in a room with his little twats, his little MPs, and his little fucking ministers, or little fucking wretched little rat fucks, bastards, the lot of them, and saying, "Oh, I need to keep my job. Now the only metric they're going to be thinking, it's a bit like Fight. You know that bit in Fight Club? No, that bit in Fight Club. And I hate talking about movies. You know that bit in that film? Okay, let's forget Fight Club for a moment. There's a film in which one of the characters plays someone who works for an insurance company, right? And no, he's not insurance. He works for he technically works for the car companies, okay? And what is this? It's if there is a new vehicle that comes out, and 1 in 1,000 vehicles the brakes fail, always. He has to do the sum of whether it is worth doing a recall on all the vehicles and fixing all the brakes, or paying off compensation to the families of the people who die when the brakes invariably fail, because they know that there's a fault with the brakes and they will eventually fail. So in the same way, Tory MPs, they're not worried about how people feel about this. They don't give a shit about you or me, or the rage we feel, or the guilt that we feel about not spending more time with our family when we could have done, because they were having a fucking knees up every other fucking night. 16 incidences, 16 of them, parties that we know of, and 12 of them or 14 of them are being fucking investigated by the fucking Met. Because that was Boris Johnson's fucking mad plan with Professor Dick, whose partner is called Ball, by the way. Helen Ball. So Ball, it goes out with Dick, and they're investigating Johnson. What the who makes this shit up? It's mad. Anyway, point being that the Tory MPs don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anything. They don't give a fuck about this country. They don't give a fuck about the economy. They don't give a fuck about levelling up or the fuel crisis, or the cost of living crisis, or the fact that wages have stagnated for years. The fact that gobshite Rishi Sunak has written off £4.3 billion to fraudsters. That would be enough to give every single nurse who works in the NHS an £8,000 bonus. Instead, they're getting a medal. So don't think for a moment that these cunts care about you or me or anyone but themselves. But that's what they care about, themselves. And the calculation that they are making, like the character from Fight Club, the narrator, Jack, his name's Jack, it's Jack, is, am I going to lose my job over this? So if they really genuinely think they're going to lose the next election because of Boris Johnson, they will abandon him. They will drop him like a stone. if they think they might wangle the next election with Boris Johnson in power, they'll stay in. And they'll keep backing him, or at least not criticising him, or at least not putting in letters to Graham Brady, the chair of the 1922 committee. They need 54 letters. You know, this talk every time about these letters going in, these letters going in. That would only trigger a vote of no confidence, and he would probably win it. Because they know, and I know, and I think most of you know, that Boris Johnson can probably dig himself out of this. Because, unfortunately, think of the average person, and then remember that half the people in this country are even more stupid than that. Yeah, and people have short memories. And if Boris Johnson keeps his head down, hides in a fridge for 6 months, he'll come out in 6 months' time and say, Brexit, 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 even though Brexit has been a fucking disaster. Today's the 2-year anniversary of us officially leaving the EU. The shittest thing we ever did as a country. I mean, that's saying something, isn't it? Fucking hell. The amount of horrors that Britain's... No, I can't say it's the shittest thing we've ever done as a country. Okay, slavery was the shittest thing we've ever done. Followed by maybe the famines that we caused around the world, not least in Ireland and Bengal. They were pretty shit. Colonialism, that kind of ties in with the famines. Yeah, so quite a lot of shit. And then probably leaving the EU. So I'd say third or fourth in the shittiest things Britain has ever fucking done. And it's a long list. It's a long fucking list. As Kieran and I discovered as we tried to go over to Luxembourg, pick up some pallets, pick up some crates of window frames and come back. A job that should have taken 24 hours, but it took 48. So here's my prediction. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be wrong while I'm doing this. Someone might be tweeting me, not tweeting me, but messaging me like crazy, saying, Graham, he's resigned. I don't think he's ever going to resign. This is a Trump-Nixon double bill for Britain. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's such a depressing thing to say. But, yeah, unfortunately, he is... He's still Prime Minister. Now, I'm going to talk about my trip to Luxembourg in a moment. But first of all, I'm going to catch up with your messages. If you want to drop a super chat in, I'm more likely to read your message. I'm sorry that sounds really mercenary, but come on, it's the end of the month. I just have to pay me fucking tax. I don't have to pay much, but I don't have much, so that's all right. But yeah, I've got a lot of bills coming in, so if anyone wants to drop in a super chat, it'd be really, really appreciated. Otherwise, you could head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/thatgingerscouser, and become a patron. If you do that, you'll automatically be enrolled onto the new Discord server. And I don't know if you get emails letting you onto the new Discord server. We'll have to discuss it later, I guess. But yeah, it's a new Discord server. At the moment, I've only set it up for Discord. I will set it up for new YouTube members as well this week. So that'll get done. It's just a lot of faffing around. It's a lot of faffing around and ticking boxes and unticking boxes and reading stuff. And literally, it takes an hour. And it's a lot of faffing around. It's a lot of fucking faffing. I'm just saying it's a lot of faffing around. Got other things to do, but don't worry, I'll do it. Anyway, David Moran, tinnitus gets worse with every passing PMQs. I'm sorry if I'm causing you worse tinnitus. I apologise. There is no distinction between afternoon or evening in English. Okay. Maybe COVID explains why Truss sounds like she has started a smoking habit. No, her balls have dropped. Has no one else noticed that? No, just me. Graham, are you there? We're all here. Thanks, Marty. Yeah, I'm here now. Sound. There's no sound. The speaker did okay, but the process is damaging. Indeed, fair play to Blackford. Should have all walked out, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that everyone in Parliament today should have said the Prime Minister is a liar and then walked out one by one, just walking out. In fact, did you see at the end of it, well, near the end of it, for the last half an hour, there was hardly anyone behind Johnson. They just all walked out as he was talking. I'm going to hear those words in my sleep, wait for the police report. He did say that a lot of times. I mean, it was like one of the questions he was asked was, were you at the party held at your flat on, I think, November the 13th or whatever it was? And that was Jess Phillips who asked that question. Direct, were you at that party? And he actually said, we have to wait for the police report to come out. For fuck's sake! Oh my giddy aunt. So I'm just gonna bring up the Guardian page because I don't want something to happen while I'm talking to you, and then yeah. Liz Truss, nowhere to hide for Putin allies if we're sure. You could probably have money in Belgravia. How does Belgravia sound? Lizzie. Daft twat. Anyway, so yeah, the Sue Gray report, it was very short. It was a short report. It was only 14 pages, I think. And there was bullet points, so it wasn't even really 14 pages. And it basically said, I can't really tell you anything because it's a police investigation now. I wanted to, but I can't. But basically, this is serious misconduct in public office. But I'm not allowed to say that because, you know, it's me boss who commissioned this report and he has to sign off on it, really. And you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is this system? What the fuck is this system in which a cunt like Johnson, a rich cunt, gets to break the fucking law and then he gets to get one of his employees? Imagine if Alan Sugar, right? Who's a rich cunt, but he's as rich cunt goes. You know, there's tiers, isn't there? There's tiers. There's like Alan Sugar. And then you got Elon Musk, who's about to put a new crater in the moon with his name on it. What a twat. He's going to deface the fucking moon because he's a twat. And then somewhere, you know, you got Rees-Mogg. And at the very fucking top of it, you got Trump. And then just below Trump, you know, licking his fucking toes, is Boris Johnson. Little fucking horrible little Boris Johnson. But this little fucker, Boris Johnson, right? He gets to break the fucking rules. Then he gets to talk to his busy mate, Professor the Dick fucking head. And he goes, oh, do you know what? I don't want to get done for this because, you know, it'll look bad for me political career. She's like, oh, don't worry about it, Boris. I'll just have an inquiry, we'll do investigations, which take like 3 to 4 years. And everyone would have forgotten about it by then. And who's she put in charge of this investigation? I do believe it's her partner, Helen Ball, and also Savage Javid's motherfucking cunting brother. Stitch up. Anyway, but the only thing is that because the Sue Gray report says basically this is the stuff that I can tell you about, all the rest of the stuff is worse than this. Makes you imagine that it must be worse. You know, there's always that thing about your imagination is always more creative than the reality. That's why films are never quite as good as the book. It's why Jaws benefited from not seeing the fucking shark for most of the movie. That was mostly because the shark didn't fucking work and they couldn't really use it, so they just used shadows of. It was way more menacing. In the original Alien film, one of the best things about it is you hardly saw the fucking alien. It just jumped out the shadows and grabbed people and then fucking jumped off. You didn't get a very good look of it. Look at it until the very end of the movie, where he's in the escape pod having a yawn. Oh, I've got some super chats. I think that's a Richard super chat. That's a Jeremy Goff one. Beggy McBegface. Just kidding. Go on, put a fiver in the hat. Go on, put it in the hat. Okay, yes, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, sir. Glasgow tells me I've got to stop being embarrassed about asking for money because I need fucking money, so give me some fucking money. I sound like fucking Bob Geldof now, don't I? Give me the fucking money! Although, to be fair, he was raising money for dying Ethiopians, whereas I'm just raising money for me. Yeah. But I'm raising it for you, really, because if you give me money, then I'm more likely to continue doing this. So if you're enjoying it, you don't have to, but it would be nice. Give us your fucking money. No. Richard says, Graham, I have a Chromebook, which didn't cost me anything. The software update license expires in June, but the thing should still work. Oh, that's very generous of you, Richard. But this is what I've got here. This Dell that I'm using. It's an XPS, is it? And basically, it's got a really good processor. It should fucking work at a lot higher rate than a Chromebook. And it's just not. They're just designed to fail. That's what they are. They're like the Tory party, just designed to fail. But yeah, thank you very much for the offer. That's very kind. But I'm gonna stick with this. I might take it apart and see if it's got some fluff in it or something. I don't know. Who's got a bug in it? Literally a little bug crawling around. Well, thank you for the super chat. Really, really fucking appreciate it. Awesome, man. Bayerberg says, fancy seeing you here. Looks like we're bumping into each other on more and more live streams. Hi, Martin. I haven't seen you for fucking ages. Good to have you back. Happy New Year, mate. I'm grateful I was allowed to stay after you graciously left the EU Union, only to see this shit show live. I thought it was the domain of little tin pot countries. Imagine my surprise. It is in fucking deed. Darren Christian says, the Brains Trust has tested positive for COVID. Yes, shortly after sitting in a packed House of Commons without a mask. Let's hope she infected half the maskless wonders on the front bench. Well, yes, but they've all been vaccinated. They should be all right. Loser Fox is someone I don't like to talk about because obviously if you don't talk about him, he loses all his oxygen, he dies. If you just ignore him, he goes away, like Freddy at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street. He does look a bit like Freddy these days, doesn't he? Ugly little fucker. Does he look like a shriveled fucking gonad? What a gobshite. He looks like the fucking larynx or whatever. Larynx. What was the fucking... the Grinch, whatever. Anyway, he's a horrible little twat, and he had a T-shirt on this week that said, I don't need the vaccination. I've got an immune system. And then he probably got the fucking deadliest virus we have seen in 100 years. Good old COVID. Twatted that motherfucker. And then he's putting all sympathy pictures on the internet going, oh, I'm really ill. Oh, I'm going to take some sheep dip medicine. Yes, sheep dip medicine for all of the fucking sheep out there to get the worms out those sheep's bottoms. Take that for not worms. Take that thing for parasites for a thing that's not a parasite. It's a virus. You can tell it's a virus because it's called coronavirus, not corona parasite, you stupid twat. Anyway, so him and Joe Rogan and all those other fucking gobshites who run around going, I'm going to take some sheep dip pills. Oh, it's good for sheep dips and it's also good for what ails you. And you're like, you fucking idiot. So really what you're doing is getting your audience, who I would regard as sheep, because honestly, they just parrot whatever these motherfuckers say. And they're being told to take sheep medicine instead of human medicine. Oh, but it's had some promising trials. It's been fuck all tested. And you know the vaccination for COVID? It's been tested over 1 billion fucking times, knobheads, in actual live humans. And it fucking works. You can tell it works because you can measure the amount of antibodies in people's blood who have been inoculated. You can test it with science. If you knew anything about science, you can do it. And that experiment will work everywhere, all over the world. You will find someone who's vaccinated, someone who's not vaccinated. You will test the number of COVID antibodies that are in the vaccinated person, and then compare millions. And then you compare it with the person who's not vaccinated, and they will have fuck all, even if they've had COVID, because the vaccination, the vaccine, the jab, it actually creates loads more antibodies than having the actual virus. So we've got, I've had the virus, I'll be all right. Doesn't quite work like that. Sorry, knobheads. As much as you'd want it to. But I'm with Neil Young. I think Joe Rogan and his cunt-faced 99% male followers can just fuck off forever and get the fuck off Spotify. They've given him $100 million to spread misinformation in a global pandemic. And people are dying. 900,000 people have died in America, and nearly all of the people who have died in the last year, since vaccines were a thing, have been people who have been unvaccinated. For every 99 fucking people who die, for every 100 people who die, 99 of them are unvaccinated. That's just the way it is. Don't get vaccinated. Or fuck off. That's fine. There's other podcasts are available. Seriously, Jesus Christ. Can't be arsed with it. I'm not even having this argument anymore. You can support Graham and his adventures with a low £3 per month Patreon subscription. Yes, and if you do it really quickly, you can give me £3 today. And then when he clicks in with the extra, once a month thing, that's tomorrow. So that'd be £6 this week, which would be really handy because I'm thinking of going back to London this weekend. Although if I do, I think that Catherine's going to kick me in the bollocks so hard they're going to come out my mouth. But I'm seriously considering going to London this weekend to protest against Boris Johnson. You can come and join me if you like, but I'm going to be there in Hyde Park with me sandwiches and a funny placard, and I'll march along to Paradise City, to Parliament Square, the opposite of Paradise, and I'll make my feelings known to that syphilitic bag of custard that is currently running the fucking country. Still, even after misleading Parliament, lying to Parliament, time and time again, this fucking cunting liar lied not just about the fucking parties, but today, when he was supposed to be apologising for the fucking parties, he lied some more about Keir Starmer not investigating Jimmy Savile when that report never came across Keir Starmer's desk. Wasn't his responsibility. Wasn't something that he even saw. Wasn't part of his remit. Someone else did. the decision. And in fact, Keir Starmer launched an investigation into why he wasn't fucking prosecuted. Which is a bit like blaming Andy Burnham for the fact that it took so long to get a Hillsborough inquiry. And it's like, well, without Andy Burnham, we wouldn't have had that second inquiry, which led to the deaths of all 97 people who died in the Hillsborough tragedy being written down in law as unlawful homicide. No one went to jail for it, but yeah, that's the way it is, I guess. And then he accused the opposition benches of being on drugs. Moving swiftly on. Okay, so no one else has given a super chat. Yes, they have. I have a super chat from Alexis G. Thank you, Alexis. You rock. Hey, Graham. We got a little wave, and we've got a Vulcan. Live long and prosper, brother. Oh yeah. Right, Joe is killing Spotify. Lol. Yes, everyone's leaving Spotify. It lost $4 billion of its value last week, as after Neil Young, who suffered from polio as a child, and also Joni Mitchell, who also suffered from polio as a child, removed all their songs off Spotify, and everyone went, oh, who cares about these old people taking off their boring ass songs off Spotify? No one's going to care about that. And literally millions of people cancelled their Spotify accounts. And if you go to amazon.co.uk/Neil Young, all one word, you get 4 months free Amazon Music. So just a little hint for you there, if you fancy just having something else for 4 months, then sack it off after 4 months, because Amazon's evil as well. So there you go. Ooh, I've got 10,000 Hungarian florins. Thank you very much from Oli. Here, have some fucking money. Yes! Thank you very much. Circa £20 GBP. Great British pound. Thank you very much for my florins. I will treasure them. And Patrick McCarthy's there as well with £5. Thank you, Patrick McCarthy. You are awesome. I see Majid has been booted off LBC. He was getting worse, ranting relentlessly about the vaccine conspiracy. Yes. It's like he's been dropped on the head, or I don't know. He had some sensible things to say once, didn't he? And then he just went madder and madder in a kind of like, I don't know, Ken Livingstone kind of way. It was like, do you want to just shut up now? No, I'm going to continue on being a fucking nutter. And yeah, when everyone else is out of step and you're the only one speaking the truth, it's kind of like, okay then. You have to tie yourself in knots to try and justify what you believe. Yes, all the countries of the world have all got together, including the ones that are about to declare fucking war on each other, and they've all decided to make lots of money for vaccine manufacturers to treat a fake virus that doesn't exist, that hasn't really killed 5.5 million people around the world. No, that hasn't really happened. They died of natural causes. That's why the death totals around the world, the average death tolls have like doubled in the last couple of... Oh, Jesus Christ. People in ventilators and doctors and nurses going crazy. And now the government just dialed back this problem where they were saying, oh, we want helpers, we want people, carers. And they say, you got to get vaccinated. And you would think that I think carers should fucking get vaccinated. Because I don't know, if I was going to work in a particular profession in which I would be with vulnerable people, I wouldn't want to give them a deadly disease and have them die from germs that I gave them. And if you're vaccinated, although you might still get fucking COVID, Jesus, people think that vaccination is this like thing that stops you getting COVID. It does not stop you getting COVID. You still might get COVID. You just won't fucking die from COVID. And the viral load that you breathe out every time your clanging manhole fucking opens is a lot less than if you haven't been fucking vaccinated. And the technology of vaccination has been around for over 200 fucking years. It's not rocket science. Well, it's quite clever, but it's not rocket science. You make the body create antibodies against something without actually giving them the thing. But there's people out there who went, I'm going to protect myself against COVID by getting myself COVID. There's a singer from the Czech Republic who's fucking dead now. I think she's in the Czech Republic. You can correct me in the comments. She's fucking dead because she purposely got herself COVID. What? To protect against COVID? How fucking thick do you have to be? I mean, that for me is one of the fucking all-time Darwin Award greats. I mean, you can't beat that, can you? Oh, well, you know, I was a bit worried about